So this one is pretty much going to be the focal point around my belief of the feminist movement and what it's done for society over the last 100, give or take, years, which I do believe that the feminist movement was used to spread propaganda, narrative, brainwashing bullshit to women, to poison them and turn them against the men. Because I do believe that women are the ultimate, weakness to be used to weaponize against men. Because I do think majority of men and men's default programming is to be chivalrous, is to be a protector, is to be savage, is to be, willing to die for, what we love and believe and what we believe in. So I do think men are, good. But I do think women have been brainwashed into thinking men are the enemy, thinking that they're just as good as men, and think that equality is the way of life. And so that the government, the elites, the people that are actually really in charge, and I don't believe most of the government conspiracies, or at least what we're being told. I believe there is an elite. I believe there is a shadow government. I don't think anybody is really talking about it, in my personal opinion. But I do think these people are using the feminist movement. And I think the feminist movement was probably created by the elite's wives. They don't got to deal with this shit. They're completely fine with the 1950s lifestyle, just enjoying the life, not worrying about what the men are doing, what deals they're crossing, what people they're crossing, what they're doing, what the men have to do in order for this beautiful life that they're enjoying. But I do think that the feminist movement and the court systems and the system and the government uses women as a tool to break men, because women are the ultimate weapon they use against men, I think. Our cheesy kryptonite. Because I do think men are benevolent. I do think men long for a legacy, a bloodline that we long for. I mean, look at all the fucking movies. I mean, the guys are all doty, even William Wallace, a lot of these animes and, knight in shining armor, willing to fight this dragon, and all this, go through all these, just to get to this woman, but the woman was worth going through all that. Women now not really are worth fighting a dragon for. There's no real honor that you see worthy enough to die for. Men have not changed, not really. But I do think women have been used to break men, because men are the protectors in the house, and women are very easily to persuade, I think, and have no real resistance against propaganda. They have strengths in mental, and no strengths in, physical, really. But in the resistance aspect, no, you guys don't have much resistance. So they're really easy. I mean, I'm not very religious, but I know this country is founded on Christianity. And if you look up to the Bible, women have been manipulated for what? Lucifer manipulated her into thinking this. And I think that's the cross that women have to bear, is that they're easily persuaded. You remember back in the 90s, whatnot, and probably further back, those commercials that you see a starving African child or a puppy, women would go crazy to send 10 cents thinking that they're changing the world. But men hardly, I'm not saying some men didn't, but, and that's the thing, it's not saying that, women only do this and men are only this, but it's if you're looking at statistics and risk counting, there's a strong chance that, that this is probably how it's going to be, majority of the time. Not all the time. But I definitely do think that we need to fix the court system. The whole court system, but family court big time. I think the whole idea of who's is a better parent needs to fucking change, because it's been proven and it's just everybody wants to be politically correct and not talk about the dark psychology, truth of women's intentions. And I'm sorry, but without leadership, women just don't make the great choices. They don't do well. And I'm sorry, deep down, women desire to be led. Not by men. Look at society, we're leading them in general, but women desire to have a man in their life that they can look up to, that they can admire, that they can be awed with. That this is my man. Look at my man. Big, strong, protector, intelligent. I want my kids to be like him. I want my sons to be like him. I want my daughters to find a man like him. And it's the same thing for men. I want to be able to look at my wife and say, like, yeah, that's a woman I want my son with. She's got good morals, good head on her shoulder. She knows how to talk to the kids. She treats me with such respect that I am willing to die for her. And I think that's what our society is missing. Is men are not allowed to be men. I'm not saying that men don't have shit to work on, all right, at all. We are not perfect. But I also don't think men have a problem with taking accountability and responsibility. And I do think we're more truthful. I think men are more romantic. I think men are more loyalty. I think we understand the world of things a whole lot better. But that's because we live in reality. We don't really, video games and anime and cartoons and football, I guess, and hunting, those are pretty much like the things that help us get out of our lives, get out of the world. But they're not really like anything that really fills us up with like, maybe video games a little bit, but most of the stuff, like that women are into, there's no rationality in it. There's no learning anything. It's just straight induced lunatic, loony, virtual reality world, reading your, romantic novels, your sex novels, being into this, being into that. You guys live in La La Land. Women live in La La Land. They don't really understand reality. Not like men. Are there some women that have a good grasp on how reality is and society, history, and how things work? Yes. But I think in a nutshell, women just... And I'm fine with protecting women from the world. I don't think women should experience the world and how harsh it is. I think men should be the ones that hold the weight of the world and all the problems on their shoulders. I think that's what men are designed for. We're the ones that... I don't want to see stress or pain or sadness on my wife's face. That's why I think men should be making the decisions, because I think I think men's intuition is so much better. I'm not saying women don't have it. I'm just saying men's are better. Men's intuition is so much better. And I think men have to be, because of, yeah, you guys are good at, rookie level of dealing with kids and knowing this and knowing when the kid's hurting and all that. But men, we gotta make quick decisions when we're, building a building. If we should step here, if this is gonna hold our weight, how much is this gonna be? We take bigger risks. So I think our intuition has to be bigger, so we can judge situations quicker. Because all it takes is one step, 1 second, whatnot, and one mistake, and we're fucked. Men are fucked. It goes into court, it goes into crime, it goes into life, it goes into marriage, it goes into raising children. Yes, it goes in a bigger aspect for everybody. That's one of the reasons why I like that show, 1,000 Ways to Die, because it shows you how much just one going that way instead of that way, doing this instead of staying home, how just one thing could just turn into... there was that one episode, he's at a work site, he's actually working, no crime, no doing this, takes a break, goes to porta potty, whatnot, and fucking walks out of the porta potty and just happens to come out at the right time when a fucking frozen shit brick comes from an airplane and just hits him right in the head and kills him. What's the odds? It's stuff like that just lets you know how short life can really be. How short it can be. But I just think that we need to just look at this world from... yes, I think men are superior mentally, physically, and emotionally, and I think women are more valued by the inherent value they have by being able to use their body to create life. But they are not the only ones that, take place in that creation of life. Yes, they have to go through the 9 months of just breaking their body, but then you give birth to a child, and then women just become so psychotic that they think the child is only theirs. They become so possessive over it. But yet they will sacrifice their child and their husband for their own happiness. And I've seen it multiple times. Men, I'm sorry, but majority of men that get called deadbeat dads and all that, walking on their kids, most of them, and I think more men than less, they don't leave. They get pushed out by women with the help by the courts. They get fucked. and women just reap the benefits. Women don't have to be, they're not held accountable like men are. They get married, they can leave whenever they want, take half his shit. They automatically get the kids because they're automatically seen as the better parent, even though it's been proven not to be true. Like, and then they want all this credit and power for doing bare minimum of bullshit. Like, I'm sorry, like, I'm not, like, is staying home stressful with the kids? Sure. Cleaning the house, doing this, making food, like, I mean, I'm not going to say it's easy peasy, but compared to what men do, it doesn't compare. Like, I mean, I already had a talk with my wife, and, I think women are designed to be around kids, whatnot. I mean, and I think single fathers, I mean, if I had to be a single father, I think that's when like, I have to do this kicks in. Men, we could do what women do. I mean, besides, giving birth, but we can, raise kids without you. We don't need you. But I don't want to do that. I want a wife there. I want a mother of my kids. I want her to stay home with the kids and have fun. And I want to go face the dragon, then bring back the treasure so I can spoil my family. That's what I want. I think that's what a majority of men want. And if women can just get on board with just submitting, obeying, and shut the fuck up and trusting the man that you say you love and trust with everything, let him lead without question, without arguing, without being argumentative, without being insufferable. Just let him lead. And I mean, go talk to him with a soft, calm voice and express your opinions and say, hey, what's up? But don't look to a man to cry because he, is having problems here. I mean, like, women have to understand that when men open up, you're going to have to deal with, rough, passionate, painful anger. And let a man understand that, you know that he's not directing it at you. All right, that that this is not, that you're not blaming me. And women think that because, loud and all that, the man's yelling that they did something wrong, or they want to flip it around so that they can feel like the victim. I don't know. Women are very complicated per se, but only because they make themselves complicated. Men, not so much. I mean, we're not really that complicated. But yeah, I mean, I was going to make this a short video, but that's what I got for now.